Yo, my name is John Robinson. A lot of people know me as Sci, Science of Life Crew, many years, and I've been involved in music for many years, pretty much my entire life. It was a classmate, Jamal Thomas. His parents came into class like a show and tell type vibe, but they had an Ashford and Simpson style group called Thomas and Taylor, and they showed us like footage of them traveling to Paris, doing shows in London and all throughout Europe and Japan as well, and it was so inspiring. It just kind of, it definitely took me somewhere else.
Toxic weapons, lots of questions, exotic obsessions. Pencil me in for the evening, I might be leaving narcotic confessions. This nitroglycerin mustard gas, don't make me laugh, surpass your conventional intentions. Leaving you flabbergasted, Madagascar. Kids, don't try this stuff at home.
It came about actually through my travels, especially in Europe. It's an electronic album produced by Robot Koch, who's an electronic producer based in Berlin, Germany. And this past summer, touring with Lewis Parker, who I did a record with called International Summers, with Project Moon Circle as well, we did a few shows with Robot Koch. And on those shows, I was able to introduce him and maybe like rock a little over his production. And just looking back at the footage and then even putting some of the footage online, we were getting a lot of solid feedback. And then, you know, I'll be honest, at first it was a little far-fetched for me just because of the style of production, and I thought it was really left. But then when I thought about it, I was so connected to that world, whether I liked it or not. So it made sense for me to do this record, and yeah, the rest is history.
I am not for sale. Feel my style like Cril. You can't buy my soul. Watch him shine like gold. Thoroughbred it, but rap sentence, he's that cool. It's been a decade plus, son of the true school. But I am not for sale. Feel my style like Cril. You can't buy my soul. Watch him shine like gold. Thoroughbred it, but rap sentence, he's that cool. It's been a decade plus.
It does cross my mind. I mean, any artist doing this are always gonna, you know, yearn for that next level of notoriety. You know, that it comes with the territory. But with me, with that being said, I also understand that the steps that I've taken in this business set me up to be in the position that I'm in for a purpose. I want to conduct my career in a sense where I make the rules, you know, and I call the shots. But I also knew that that meant most likely I wouldn't get those top-notch level resources right away. I would have to build and work for it, and I wouldn't be in the spotlight right off the bat. It would be, you know, a tumbling block process, and I feel like really it's still unfolding, you know, and I think like that, but then at times the optimistic side of me takes over and says, I'm doing a lot of this stuff for now, but it's really for later.
TheKid.org.
Check it out.
The master, the mic lord, disaster, metal fingers crushed.
Doom, we originally met, I want to say it was 98, 99, via Bobito. And Bobito ran a label called Fondulum, and he was the one who first really released the Doom material under the, you know, moniker MF Doom. And we had a few 12 inches on that label too with my group Science of Life. So we were label mates. We never met. And then one day we went to check Bobito at Bobito's Footwork. It used to be down on 9th Street in the Village back in the day. And when we got there, Doom just left. And Bob told us Doom just left. We ran out. We saw Doom jumping in a cab. We stopped him, got to meet him right there and build. But we never really met up again until a year after that. We had our first show in Atlanta. As soon as we got to the sound check, guess who's standing outside the door? Doom. Like, yo, what up, fellas? So we're bugging, like, yo, what are you doing here? He's like, I live out here now. You know, and I guess what solidified the connect even more is a year after that, we wound up making that migration down, and Atlanta was our new home. He definitely shared a lot of gems on the business, a lot of gems on writing, a lot of gems on production and just approach, you know, just etiquette, you know, simple stuff like don't sample a record until you listen to the whole thing, you know, and don't sample a record until you literally like listen to each sound and how it's played and how it's broken down, and then try to flip your interpretation of it in a sense.
The makings of you. Come on. Yo, I wrote this one about you.
The most valuable experience would be stick to your guns. You know, sometimes when you're in certain positions, you're thinking of, you know, you may be in a position where you're thinking of the quick move of, yo, let me do this and work with this and do this because it's like a faster way to get to the next level. But sometimes, man, it pays off better. Like Shaman Work, our mindset was stick to your guns. You know, when we were working with Eminon, who's Aloe Black and Exile, you know, early on in the Shaman Work era, we released their first album. We didn't work with them because we knew they would become what they are now. We worked with them because we saw the light in them. The list goes on in a sense where we felt like we were in the business to break new people out into the world rather than so much cling on to a scenario that already had notoriety and just base the company solely off that.
They wanna know about the mystique so complete. The people heard about all the places we beat and how we turned it out. The music speaks for itself, y'all, so listen up. Nice to meet y'all. They wanna know about the history of the brothers and how it started out. Born in the South Bronx, raised in Far Rock. We will forever drop joints on a non-stop. Nice to meet y'all.
We're in a time now where the business is a lot different and how to move in this business is different. There's a lot of people out there, you know, particularly in hip-hop, who still feel like it's based on who's iller, and it's really not. It's really based on your setup, who your team is, and have you found your lane, and are you able to clearly ride your lane and grow from that? You know what I'm saying? Because you see so many artists nowadays that you scratch your head and wonder, wow, they got 1 million views on YouTube. They got this going on. They got, you know, so many iTunes sales and things are going. And most of the time when you look at the inner workings, they really have their thing together and they figured out, oh, these are the marketplaces all over the globe that work with us and that love what we do. We're going to continue to visit these places and grow from that and build our notoriety from there. So it's about getting your formula together, man. Like, keep that competitive spirit to a minimum, really. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's hip-hop, so it goes without saying, but get your stuff together, you know what I'm saying, and really ride your lane. One of the main reasons that I started to use the name John Robinson within my music, it was inspired by Doom. And he told me like when I used to call his crib, it would trip him out because he looked at the call ID and it said John Robinson. And you know, sometimes when you're working in this hip hop, you really know people by their hip hop names, you know? So he knew me as Sci. So it would trip him out a little bit, like, damn, he doesn't even look like a John Robinson. And one day he came to me and said, yo, I got this idea for a project. I found this dialogue about a man named John Robinson. I think we could chop it up and create like a real dope storyline for a whole album. You know, and at first I'm thinking like, I'm not trying to use my government name in hip hop. You know, like the business stuff is cool, but I'm Sci. You know, and then he put it into a further perspective by saying, you know what? Still be Sci, still be Science of Life. Create this John Robinson character and put him into the forefront in your music life. And all you'll do is just create a whole nother lane for yourself that won't even interfere with the other lanes, but actually help them grow. And he was exactly right.
It's Rosmatic.
I want the response to be a cat who was a visionary in a sense where he was prolific at a time where he was able to be prolific, but I guess being conscious in a spirit of knowing that I'm doing things to make change and inspire stuff later. You know, I'm doing it for now, but I'm doing it for later. That's really my entire message. It's for now, but it's really for later. John Robinson's a visionary, and he's always thinking ahead, and he's always going to be prolific, and he's always going to be sitting back watching it unfold. There's a method to the madness, and I'm playing chess, definitely.
Spitting flames on set, leaving nothing but ashes. Ego stayed on check because he learned from the masters how to climb the ladder of success with his tactics. Relax, it's not another story about some rapper dude, more like a writer who in his own tone sings the blues. You can't walk in his shoes, they're custom. A class act who drop nothing but jewels and plus some. Just reach out and touch one. He's in his comfort zone like a trust fund. How dare you compare these styles, flows deluxe, son?